Thank you so much, Pyra. Now, it's us. Now that we've wrapped up our first day of week 4 of the ERA LCS, it is time to load up on the post-game lobby, or we can also dub it the mid-lane week lobby today, as we have Febevan here with us still as well. So, first let's take a look at H2K Splice. You said in the beginning, I don't know which team is better, I don't know how to call it, and I don't know if it was a joke, but it's a 1-on-1 in the end. It is a tie. What did you guys think of this second game? There was a lot of, well, they got Vladimir, so that's very strong.
Yeah, when the Swain died like 2 times, then I don't know, they just snowballed so hard, and I don't think they could really come back. And yeah, I don't know, like they were just getting out teamfighted, getting kited. Yeah, and then the Vladimir was making, like, killing everyone.
Not only that, makes it even more difficult when the opposite team's so far ahead, they end up playing like Executioner's Calling on the jungler, and suddenly Swain actually can't do anything. What were your thoughts on Ryu in this game? Because he seemed to do a whole lot of work for H2K.
Yeah, with Vladimir you can just sit under the enemy tower all game, so that makes your jungle be able to do anything he wants. Like, he can just invade all the time, like we did when I had Vladimir today as well. And yeah, and then it's just unkillable. Like, you cannot really gank that guy because he can always escape, and then yeah, he just outscales.
So I feel like a lot of our segments here, mid lane week, involves Vladimir.
Yeah.
And involves Broken or something like that. Is it just permaban? Like
yes, I think it should be permabanned. People are trying to leave it open in scrims and in LCS, but I don't know what is the win rate at the moment on this champion, but
pretty high.
It's just too OP, I think.
Pretty high. I think the only time we're releasing it through is that situation. And, you know, we were talking about, you know, if a Swain gets ahead, he can carry. If Vlad gets ahead of Swain, it's super tough. So I think really the only times we're going to see it is when both are up. You can take one, trade away the other. Whoever gets the lead is just going to win the game, seemingly. The
thing is, like, when you practice champions in scrim, like, you open Vladimir and you play, like, Rise into it, it's not like you're gonna farm up for team fights like for 30 minutes. So it's like mostly the games are like decided by early game, and then it's really hard to judge like which champion is actually better in team fight, because the games are so one-sided. So it means that it's not like even, so you can actually see like which champion is clearly better.
But isn't that the big problem for Europe right now? Because we had Freeze on the desk saying exactly the same you just said now, that in scrims in Europe, there's so many kills early game, so many fights early game, and then teams like at 20 minutes is like FF, or like it's like the game is just lost already. So you don't probably get to test these champions and practice macro. Like, isn't that just a big problem overall for you?
Yeah, I think that's a really big problem, because it makes me and my team question a lot of stuff, like which champs should we prioritize like really high, which shouldn't, and then maybe one scrim block you win 5 games in a row with one champion, and then the next time you lose. So, and then when you play on LCS, you win and lose. Like, it's just, you really have to theorize yourself, like which champions are really good, and you have to understand like comps against comps, and yeah, it's you cannot just say like, oh, this champion is OP because we won in scrim. And it's maybe not even because of the pick. It can be because of your team winning. So.
Mm-hmm. Which, funny enough, is something we actually saw quite a lot of this week.
Yeah.
Like picks like Hecarim that have done really well in scrims. Kha'Zix was one from Fnatic. We keep hearing from some players, not going to say any names, that like Swain is super broken, and then suddenly he shows up and he gets camped early game and he does absolutely nothing, because that's the problem with Swain. Like, he's a snowball champion. And in a scrim, with what you're describing, you will have these games where you get 2 or 3 early kills on him, and then he looks fantastic. But then you pick him now, and you get camped early, and then that's it.
Fraugen also sent a tweet out today. There's so many good picks mid lane. Now it's kind of hard to decide what to pick. Do you? Is that a difficulty for you personally? The fact that there's a lot maybe that you don't know is OP, and how do you try and work through that?
No, I think I understand mid lane pretty well. I can play most of the champions, and I think right now mid lane can do a lot. Like, you can play for your team, you can play to be a really big threat in team fights. You can maybe even try to play early game composition with an assassin, but mostly people are playing, and I think what is the best right now is just control mages, and maybe sometimes a Rise with TP, or so you can give pressure to your team.
Yeah, I definitely say from watching not only Europe, but like also a lot of Korea when it comes to the picks. Like Vladimir, Azir, Victor are like the S tier picks.
Yep.
And then everything under that, there's like this big bubble of like, oh, do I need to play an assassin? Then like LeBlanc can be picked. Do I need like a mid-game split push? I can go Rise. Do I need some engage or whatever, you know, there are different picks you can go for. There's some counter picks like Varus as well that needs to be considered. So there's this massive, massive group, and that's probably what Froggen is talking about.
Yeah.
That's great, though.
Yeah, it is.
And not only that, there are also matchup-specific picks. You've got like the Vel'Koz we've seen into the Azir. We've seen
Rarely.
Anivia come out. Well, we've seen it more
Yeah,
and
yeah.
more. Like
Sure.
we've seen it this week in LCK. We saw it come out. I mean, there are a lot of matchup-specific picks as well, and I think that's what Froggen's alluding to. Is like to have every matchup ready. I think is a very tough thing for a player right now. But Febby, you sound confident. You say you understand mid lane. So let's see if we got anything fun to pull out in a matchup.
We'll see. And also, Froggen, if you're watching, just tweet at us and stuff as well. Okay. Player of the game, first place versus H2K is Jankos, as we asked it on the desk as well. And you were saying he actually had a pretty good time because of the Vladimir mid to come there and then do some things. But what do you think of Jankos if you play against him? Are you always afraid he's going to try and get that first blood on you? Or
Yes, actually, when I play against Junkos in solo queue, he I actually played against him yesterday, and he's the only jungler who level 3 ganks me after red buff. So he takes 3 camps and then he just flashes on me and then I'm dead. So, but I think he's a pretty good jungler, and his decision making is really he makes you think a lot. Like he does things that you don't expect and things that other players don't do, and then it can snowball.
You realize you just gave away how people beat you in solo queue, right? You just basically told everybody playing jungle to camp in from level 3.
I never get level 3 ganked, and after that I just always hug top side. So when I'm against Giant, I'm never hugging bot side again. When
okay, that message is sent out. Let's talk a bit about your series, a bit more OG versus Fnatic. It was our match of the week as well. And of course, we went into it thinking that maybe it would be kind of a walkover for Fnatic. And game 1,
It should have been.
that was the case.
I mean,
Game 1 it
honestly,
was.
yeah, I think
game one I had Vladimir, so
Yeah, okay, so
basically that Vladimir's the one. No, but I actually think game 1 was how this game was supposed to look. Very often in the EU LCS, a lot of players will go like, you know, a lot of teams are even, and it's unfair to say one team should like beat the other like that. But honestly, I think it was disappointing that Fnatic didn't 2-0 here, even though we have Fibber now on the desk, not to offend you or anything, but
he agrees.
no,
Except
I agree.
Featherman, was there maybe overconfidence going into game 2? How you performed in game 1?
Yes, definitely.
I guess that answers that, because this game went
I played a really bad second game.
But like,
Shit happens. Shit happens. Look at my face.
Yeah. No, but it's the first thing you said. You said, hey, it was my fault. I got caught out a lot. And very unfortunate in that one. And I think Perks on the desk also said, well, this is going so long now. OG should have closed it out 20 times already, and it's still going. So the door must have been open for Fnatic. But it's so hard when those...
Yeah, sure. Of course, it
your
gets
base.
really hard late game. No one wants to make a mistake. OG were super afraid of like pushing. Like they would actually get a kill, and you were like, okay, now they're gonna push in with super minions. And then they're like, one guy would get chunked, they recalled instantly, and then just ran away. I just feel like every time a game goes past like 55 minutes to an hour, it's because the teams are doing something wrong. Like it's never because both teams are just playing perfect and they just keep matching each other like till like 80 minutes and then suddenly the game ends. It's always something where one team falls super far behind, or they have a composition that maybe can't properly deal with like an Azir in the late game as an example, and then they just can't do anything, and the other team is too bad at closing the game, and then it just keeps going and going and going.
What do you think?
Yeah, the thing is, in that game we didn't really have any control, because we were basically in our base all the time because they had so many inhibitors. So I think if we were in their position, we would have closed it like way earlier, because I think they just played really safe for no reason.
In any case, it did give us a lot of records that were broken. We had, first of all, a very, very long game time, an EU record in 80 minutes and 28 seconds. We had 858 CS for Reckless, who's a global CS record. We also had Febiven in second place. Then we had 4,845 minions killed, the most in the EU LCS, and 299,000 total gold, most in EU LCS, as well as 15 inhibs.
And like, you want to be proud when you get an achievement like
But
this.
you have to look at the silver line.
Yeah, but this is like, congratulations, you actually had a real long game that was in a way bad, and now you won all these awards. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was still interesting.
It was exciting in the end.
It was. I mean, it's exciting, and we wanted to track all these things. We also wanted to track something else. Actually, we talked a lot about the OP strat of the ZZ Rod as a 6th item or buy or sell, and we wanted to take a look at a little replay.
Good idea. It's really good actually.
Good idea. I'm gonna do
as well. What?
So buy
Just
straw?
put straw then. It's so funny.
Wait, what do you sell?
Just sell and buy your game. Just put zero then sell zero. Yeah.
Buy your game.
Yeah,
You're a genius.
really funny.
Still laughing then.
I like how this is their
I was surprised.
the 75-minute communication on a pro team.
Yeah,
is
but-
laughing and laughing.
I wanted to cry.
But how do you keep a level head? Or do you think you did? Keep a level head or a good mental?
Yeah, I think it's impossible to just let yourself go and just like tilt yourself in the game and just lose it. I think everyone was focused until the end, and even though we're joking around, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, in the end. Cool that we had that listening, but I'm not going to say this is always the Fnatic communication.
Just laugh.
Just
Tell
laugh.
your eyes
Just
and
laugh.
buys easy rod every time.
I wish I could explain how tilted Perks got up here watching that happen when he was like, wait, you can do that?
That's
Why?
unfair.
That's so broken. This
Why?
item is insane. He's like, you can't do that. I don't get it. It's so tilted.
No, very long game though. And now let's take a look at the standings after that at the exact halfway point of the summer split already. Whoa, the top three remain the same, but
Wait, don't we have one more game?
Are, well, 4.5, and it's 9 weeks, right? So
How that
that's the
works.
half official.
You're right.
Yes. Anyway, G2 Esports is in first, Fnatic in second, HUK in third, so that is still remains unchanged. But I want to take a look at that middle. Schalke, Splice, Giants there in the middle of the table. Origin and Unicorns of Love still all the way at the bottom. But I think we talk about it a lot, but I think it's really, really commendable that teams like Giants and Splice, they're finally turning it around.
We were really worried about Giants the first couple of weeks, but now that it's settled, we realize that strength of schedule is kind of a thing. Giants hit a lot of tough opponents in the first couple of weeks. I'm not saying Giants are a top of the table team, but what I'm saying is perhaps they look more middle of the table than we gave them credit for in the first couple of weeks.
I just think this whole middle of the table, bottom right now, it's just such a pointless discussion almost because
That's
we
fair.
have 7 teams
Actually, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
who are just like so close in level. Okay, I'll probably put like Splice and Schalke slightly above the other 5, but it's not enough for me to say they're going to 2-0 them every single time. It's only like Fnatic, H2K, and G2, I would say, have looked better overall, and yet this week, G2 played 1-1, you guys played 1-1, and we just saw H2K play 1-1. So we just have this massive pile of teams smacked together right now where no one is clearly that much better than anyone else.
Yeah, it doesn't really say much at all. Like this kind of games, like I don't think like it's just practice right now. That's how the teams see it, and there's so much change still coming into playoff.
Does it bother you that people then go, wow, EU is really bad, we're not going to do anything at Worlds this year? Does that bother you?
I really don't care.
I mean, you may not care, but I think for me, like, they're close because of mistakes. They're not close because this is high-level league that's coming out of these teams. Like, you look at Roccat, disastrous early games. You look at Unicorns, they can get a lead in the early game and then just lose it completely. So for me, it's just every team has so many different mistakes they need to fix that right now everybody's taking games off each other and just getting ties in the middle of the
But
pack.
it's the same in every region right
That's
now.
fair.
in
It
the
is
world.
fair.
And like the only thing that tells me about this whole EU suck right now kind of thing is the fact that people, because it's the circle jerk now, everyone will just jump on it and be like, they watch a game and they go, huh, I didn't see February go 10-0 and win the game in 25 minutes. So I'm going to ride, yeah, this game was really low level, EU is bad. I'm like, you can't say it for every game. Like, that's not how it works. And yeah, you can, I agree. I don't think Europe is like a fantastic region right now. I think around playoffs, a lot of the teams will improve a lot, like they always do. But a lot of teams around the world struggle in every single region.
So do these opinions come from? Reddit people or?
I mean, maybe it's my secret Reddit account I'm sitting on and like writing. But yeah, no, it's stuff. It's just overall community opinion when it comes to like a region being weak. A lot of people will then always have that mindset instead of actually judging themselves if they think. And it's also super hard to judge like a match in Europe, middle of the pack match in Europe compared to a middle of the pack match in NA. Like a lot of it is the same anyway when it comes to the mistakes being made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
We swear we don't read it all.
Real talk.
Never, don't read any of it.
Yes, we do. We also read your tweets. And earlier in the show, we asked you guys to tweet us your burning questions for our resident mid laners. From @TonyWeber97 asked, Febevin, which champ are you crushing on that Perks is really bad with? He's not here anymore. But is there any champion without like you know, giving away any strats, but that you're like really good at and he's not very good at?
Maybe Azir and Victor.
Maybe just the two best champions.
No,
Too.
maybe Victor. Yeah. I think I'm better Victor than him.
Okay.
Who's the best Zed before he got nerfed to the ground?
I don't think there was much. I don't know. It's really hard to tell, but like how many months do you?
Let's go like last split.
I think I was a better player overall, so I guess that makes me a better Zed.
Do you
Right?
think you were a better
Sure.
player overall than you are now? How do you feel about your own performance?
I think I'm actually worse than last split because. You mean last split or last year as well?
Last split and last year.
I don't know. Like the meta has changed so much, and like we're trying different play styles and stuff. And I think I'm doing a lot of random mistakes because maybe I'm overconfident or something like that, or getting caught for no reason all the time. And I don't know. I just need to take it more serious and like really try hard to become better.
Do you actually feel right now? I know we're firing a lot of questions just straight your way here, but it's very interesting to hear your opinion of like mid lane, because we obviously had a discussion during some of the games about the impact of mid lane right now. Like, do you feel that mid laners are able to, I'm not saying 1v9 the game, but like have a massive impact and just be the main carry? Or are we just 100% stuck in the meta where it's teamwork, like it's every player, every role has to do a lot to win? Or do you feel like mid laners can still really just be the big carries if you're playing a fantastic game?
Yeah, I think mid laners can still, like everyone should always like try to play as perfect as possible, obviously. But there is some champions right now where you can really hard carry with, like Azir, Victor and Vlad. They have the most damage output. And then you have champions with teleport, like Ryze, Lissandra. You can also make plays on, like you can coordinate your team and you can help your team out. And then you have champions like Zillion and Varus and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just you can play everything, and I think with the hard carry champs, you can make your team play around you, which makes you the main carry. But sometimes you just have to adapt in the champ select and play around your team, and then you just play around your team, and then your teammates should carry the game because you're adapting. So I think everyone should play everything which is good in the meta, and then yeah, you just have a 5-man threat team.
All right, well, we'll see how that evolves. We got another question from @xthemurf. Has reached out to the post-game lobby for advice. He asks, what can I do when I fall behind in lane and my opponent out-roams me? So let's take it, this is not in the LCS. So you're just yourself in a game. So you don't really know what the opponent's going to do, obviously. Well, you never know, but what would you do?
Wait, what would I do if I was getting out-laned and then...
And he goes roaming.
I would just tell my team everything that he can do and just ask for wards, and then yeah, always tell my team what the opponent can do and what I can do to stop any action.
Yeah, one thing a lot of mid laners will always try and do if you are like losing the lane is try and focus just on pushing your wave, because like if you can always keep him in lane because you always push the wave and he has to like farm it and pick it up.
That's very basic.
I know it's very basic. I know it's very basic, but like when it's something people in ranked like often don't understand. They're like, I'm behind, so I'm gonna try and like outplay him and all in him and see if I can get a kill. And that's obviously the absolute worst you can do. Like, don't even try to do that. Instead, water your lane, you know, push out your wave, and then again, super basic, but like communicate.
I have no money.
With
Why
your
do I
team.
have to spend it on something that's not an offensive item?
You have a trinket. You can click it, click, and you can place the ward. And then just you need to communicate. I know it's basic, but I think that's the kind of things a lot of people forget when they play alone, and then they just end up like doing it even worse and die like 3 or 4 extra times.
That's worse.
I like how he's gesturing at me the entire time for that. It's okay. I learned
No, I
something.
mean-
It may be basic. I always thought it was just flame your team and rage quit, alt F4 and you're out. No?
Okay, we're almost done here. Febivin, if you had to give one word of advice for someone who wants to play mid lane in ranked, what is it?
Just play Aurelion Sol, Twisted Fate, and Talilia, and just perma push and perma roam, and then you will get some elo.
It's very basic.
Great.
Very basic.
No.
Push again there and then it's roaming.
No, but that's really how you get elo, and that's still how some challenger players play, which really annoys me because I'm practicing my my mages, and then I'm basically stuck in mid, and then these guys are just killing my team, and then these people are right in chat like, you're getting outroamed and stuff.
Aw.
And then, yeah, you can get a bit salty sometimes.
You just push the wave back. It's easy.
And then hug your tower.
Yeah, and then of course.
And then your team dies.
Great stuff. All right, let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule. Week 4 of the EU LCS continues then, as Giants take on Schalke. Rocket will battle it out against Fnatic, and we'll close out the day with Splice versus Origin. Rocket up versus Fnatic. I believe they had a 1-on-1 versus Unicorns of Love today,
Yes.
and their problem has been the early game in this split. How do you think you can do against them?
I think we can do pretty well against every team. It just depends on how many silly mistakes we make. And I think we're always, like, I think we're a stronger team than them for sure. So I don't think we should lose against them.
I'm looking forward to casting that game tomorrow, but I'm kind of off the Rocket hype train. I'm sorry. I know weeks 1 and 2 I was saying I like their drafts, I like their plays. Early game's too weak right now, I think. So interesting series, but I think it's probably going to be Fnatic's way.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Tomorrow's pre-game coverage will begin at 5 p.m. Central European Time, summertime rather, and 8 a.m. Pacific. Febiven, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure and a lot of fun. And also thanks to all the players that will be joining us and have joined us for the show during Mid Lane Week. We'll see you tomorrow as we continue to celebrate the region's legendary mid laners. And Week 4 of the EU LCS continues. Good night.
Super.